So here's another little interesting video, interesting article from a place I've never heard of, but it's still legit. Spinquark.com. Welcome to social government. And some interesting truths here about who's exactly running these social media companies. Where do they come from? What positions do they have? Why are the conservatives being attacked but not the left? And you're going to find out it's because they're employing very specific people who have very specific previous backgrounds in government on the Democratic Party, in this case, from the Democratic Party. Joe Rogan, he's got a couple quotes and then some other stuff. Joe Rogan, quote, "I think they, Twitter, definitely are biased against conservative people. It's really clear that someone in the company, whether it's up for manual review, whether it's at the discretion of the people that are employees, without doubt you're dealing with people that are leaning left," he said. Then the Ben Shapiro show, quote, "Why is Facebook answering that question from the Daily Beast? If the Daily Beast goes to Facebook and says, I want the identity of whomever published this Nancy Pelosi video, why is Facebook revealing that identity? The guy didn't commit a crime. The guy didn't involve himself in slander or libel. How in the world is it Facebook's job to answer questions from the Daily Beast about the source of this video?" End quote. And then the article says, good question. How is it that Facebook, who refuses to dox any of the violent Antifa terrorists that use its platform, are happy to give up the personal details of Facebook users who anonymously uploaded in this case, the one guy who slowed down video of Nancy Pelosi within minutes to some random journalist on the phone? How do you even call Facebook to get that information, right? You must know somebody in there, and somebody high level. Well, what if I told you a policy director at Facebook was Nancy Pelosi's chief of staff before taking said job directing policy at Facebook? What if I told you the head of algorithm policy at Facebook worked for Hillary at the State Department? Or that the head of content policy worked for the Hillary presidential campaign? What if I told you the person in charge of privacy policy at Facebook used to work for Al Franken before he worked for Senator Bonoff, before he worked for Congressman Oberstar? Or that the director in charge of countering hate and extremism at Facebook came from the Clinton Foundation? Did you know that the person at Facebook who currently oversees programs on countering hate speech and promoting pluralism and develops internal third-party education and drives thought leadership on hate speech and content moderation was one of Obama's policy advisors at the White House? Do you even know what pluralism is? Let me help you out, he says. Could be a she, actually. I don't know who's writing this article. Pluralism, political theory. Classical pluralism is the view that politics and decision-making are located mostly in the framework of government, but that many non-governmental groups use their resources to exert influence. The central question for classical pluralism is how power and influence are distributed in a political process. Groups of individuals try to maximize their interests. Lines of conflict are multiple and shifting as power is a continuous bargaining process between competing groups. And then another one from economicpluralism.com. The term pluralism is generally used to contrast with so-called mainstream economics teaching, while generally only focuses on one school of economic thought called neoclassical economics, that economic teaching should include other schools of thought such as complexity, institutional, post-Keynesianism, and Marxist economics. Okay, so why does Facebook have someone whose job is to show others how to use their platform as a type of privatized government and exert influence over the public? And what exactly does it mean for Facebook to exert influence over the public? I think we've been witnessing a little more of that every day. How about YouTube? How does Laura Southern's documentary about the border get removed from YouTube within 24 hours of posting without any reason or explanation? What if I told you a policy manager at YouTube, before becoming a policy manager at YouTube, was employed by Hillary for America and was a manager in Obama's campaign before that? What if I told you YouTube's global content policy lead previously worked at the DNC, Democratic National Convention? Did you know the person responsible for, quote, growing the next generation of stars, end quote, on YouTube worked in the Office of Digital Strategy at the White House under Obama? Speaking of helping the careers of creators, content creators, like me. Wait, they haven't helped me. They've been killing my revenue again lately. Did you know Vox, the company that got Steven Crowder demonetized, was one of the companies that YouTube doled out $20 million to for educational videos that they produced? 10 people directly connected to the progressive Democrat political machine who are now controlling our conversations online. Sounds like an important alarm, no? What if I told you there were nearly 100 more? By the way, did you know the public policy manager for global elections at Facebook was on Obama's National Security Council director for Russia before he was a special advisor for Joe Biden, old sleepy, creepy Joe Biden? What kind of election policy do you think he will advocate for at Facebook leading into 2020? What about Twitter? The primary spokesperson and communications lead for the 2016 U.S. presidential election at Twitter was previously, guess who? Kamala Harris, her press secretary. A trust and safety manager who developed operations and policies related to privacy and free expression previously worked at the Clinton Global Initiative and at the State Department under Hillary Clinton. I'm going to pause for a second. I remember, I don't know how long ago this was. I always like to say a couple years ago. It could have been a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. And I remember hearing Alex Jones saying it and showing it. Hillary Clinton's quote, "Guys, we're losing the information. We're losing the information war, the online information war." She was concerned. We're losing the information war. Looks like they righted the ship that was sinking. They've got all the Hillary and Obama people all up in Facebook, all up in Google, all up in Twitter, all up in YouTube. We're losing the information war. Anyways, a Twitter director of public policy was originally a press secretary for John Edwards, Democrat, and Erskine Bowles, Democrat, and Senator Salazar, Democrat, and what's this? Back when Senator Barack Obama, Democrat, was around, he was a policy director for Obama's presidential campaign, a policy advisor at the White House, special assistant to the president, and then he spent 3 short months on the Clinton-Kaine presidential transition team before deciding to take a job directing policy, public policy, at Twitter. Now, you got to understand something here. Do you think all those people from the Democratic Party, oh, you guys have nice resumes, we'll hire you? Do they have that background to be leading these IT type related positions? Absolutely not. Just like they had no business running the positions they were in government, because none of these people know anything. They're there for one reason: power, money. That's it. Corrupt to the core. So how did they get into these companies? Who hired them? more liberal Democrats. That's who hired them at these companies. A Twitter public policy director who owned the 2016 election and both party conventions previously worked for Senator Wyden, Democrat, Senator Higgins, Democrat, Bill Foster's congressional campaign, Democrat, and Senator Dick Durbin, Democrat. Before that, NBC News political desk. Another Twitter public policy employee was Obama's director for Syria after working in Hillary's State Department. Twitter's public policy fellow is a Democrat who came to the company after losing his own run for Washington House of Representative District 14B. Twitter's Associate General Counsel, Global Policy, was formerly an advisor to Senator Claire McCaskill after being Associate Counsel for President Obama. Twitter's head of site policy was an intern at the William J. Clinton, Bill Clinton Foundation, where she, amongst other things I bet, wrote letters on behalf of President Clinton to heads of state. Twitter's vice president on global public policy worked for a Democrat congressman for 20 years. The Washington Post called him, quote, one of the most influential tech policy operatives you've never heard of, end quote. Quote, we got the power, we're the new government, you just don't know it yet. Bob Dylan, right? Progressive Democrats using social media companies to stifle our free speech online should be the most important discussion of this generation. Who has the power to silence Americans at YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook? Who are the people setting up the guardrails to our free speech? We know that it was Twitter policy employees who acted on their own to ban Alex Jones, prompting Jack Dorsey to overrule them before ultimately losing that battle. Each day we wake up and see the latest way conservative voices are being censored, shadow banned, silently deleted, hidden from view, buried in searches, algorithmed out of existence. Whether it's the biased search results hiding the real Donald Trump on Google and Reddit, or their questionable subscriber numbers, whether it's banning Twitter accounts that simply track violence against Trump supporters, creating policy to allow death threats against conservatives, censoring the Declaration of Independence for hate speech, blocking a conservative Marine for literally saying the sky is blue, labeling Bible verse as porn, or simply banning the top conservative voices for no reason at all. Big tech companies absolutely are controlling our speech. These aren't just Democratic voters, but former employees from the DNC, from the offices of Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Dianne Feinstein, Gifford, Schumer, Reid, Planned Parenthood, and even Rachel Maddow, who are migrating en masse to gatekeeping positions in social media companies. They didn't all learn to code. They aren't designing the like button or working on Messenger app. They are taking up residency in the policy departments across the web, shaping the conversation, pushing agendas, picking who gets featured, deciding who gets blocked, judging who gets banned for life, dictating the parameters of the algorithms we'll never be allowed to see, and making cases for censorship. That always seems to ratchet in one direction. They cannot stop speech at the government level. It would never get past the constitutional review. But private companies do not need to abide by the Constitution. As our lives become digital conduits that flow through private companies, they have congregated at the helms of these companies, silencing the right, starting with the fringe, and working their way in as far as they possibly can. Joe Rogan experience, number 877, Jordan Peterson. Things get to terrible places one tiny step at a time. If I encroach on you, and I'm sophisticated about it, I'm going to encroach 2 millimeters. I'm going to encroach right to the point that you start to protest. Then I'm going to wait. Then you're going to calm down. Then I'm going to encroach again right to the point that you protest. Then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to do that forever. Before you know it, you're going to be back 3 miles from where you started, and you'll go, how did I get here? Where is the point to end in the future? Where is this going to end in the future? What impact does this have on our elections? Should demonetizing should demonetizing or outright removing political voices of opposition be considered an in-kind political contribution? This much is clear. In the social government, you have no representation. You have no recourse. In the following months, Spinquirk will begin leading the charge to fight back, to equal the playing field, and to apply truth to power. Join us. Here's how. We have blurred the names and photos of the social media employees below and removed most non-political employers. We want to start a conversation or investigation, not a witch hunt. We ask that you be respectful of the privacy of the people listed below and instead direct your feedback to the companies and share this with your friends and family. So, yep, it's all blurred out. I can see it, but I'm not going to share that. No need to. I will give credit to the article as I always do. You know, don't want to plagiarize an article I just read to you. So I will always put the link up as I do. If you want to read more about this or keep a copy for yourself. But this is exactly why the things have been happening that have been happening. They're not, like I said, these aren't coders, and then they went on to say the same thing. They're not coders. They didn't learn how to code to go get these positions. They're not writing the algorithms. They're standing there saying, hi guys, I'm the new boss in this department. And here's what we need to do. And believe me, they're going to use their cute little words to twist and tell the little employees, here's what we need you to do. And you know what? I'm going to go on a limb here. I bet the employees, the goody two-shoes employees that stand right up, yes sir, yes ma'am. J-Step 4 at your service. What can I do, sir? You're going to get promoted. You're going to get raises. You're going to get bonuses. Oh, you're going to go so far in the company because those people are going to make sure you're taken care of because you took care of them. Now, deep down inside your mind, you're going to say, but what I'm doing is kind of wrong. But God, I'm going to get a huge raise. I'm going to make it big. I went to college. I got my education. It's all paying off now. It's all paying off. This is so great. No, not really. So, anyways, very, very interesting article. Take care.